48 hours, all I've done is washing, ironing, packing. Oh my God, I've got one more load of washing I need to sort.
25 past 10. We'd said to Daniel we're going to come in here for 11 to start doing this podcast because we need to be out sharp, and Natalie's folding the washing.
On Monday, we're going to have all the washing for the weekend, the kids washing for the weekend. I stick by it. But do you know what? See when we're away and I see kids at a High Rocks event, it makes me so emotional.
I shut my eyes. That's in a time's always shite. I shut my eyes. On my time shite.
Like, I look at how the parents are interacting with their kids and I'm like, that could be us. Like, it's so bad. But then also we do need the break. Episode 7.
Hello and welcome back to Coffee with the Cassells. This is episode 7. Natalie no longer wants to do the numbers anymore because she's losing count. But Daniel's informed us it's episode 7, so I'm sticking with that. And if it's not, we'll blame Daniel.
You can edit it out.
we can change the episodes a bit to make it look as if it was 7. So yeah. So let's dive into today's conversation.
I was just saying that we need to change the name.
Yeah, it's Water with the Cassells right now because I think the last couple of episodes I've certainly just had water. You've had water as well?
We've had water because we've already had our 2.
I've only had one today.
Yeah, we're saving. We're keeping that safe.
Yeah, so we're actually just having water today because we're filming this podcast today when we're flying out to Barcelona tonight at 5. So we've not really had the time to make a coffee and stuff like that. It's a kind of quick snatch and grab podcast today.
They're probably always the best ones, so
fit it in
a bit more loose.
and get up the road. Fit it in, get up the road. So
Holiday.
our flight is at 10 past 5 in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
It's currently 25 past 11.
5 to 5.
What was earlier?
4:55. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's great.
Yeah, car's booked in from 2.
Oh.
So that's why we're leaving here at 1.
So when I said last night that we're on the same flight as Kirk at 10 past 5 and you said yeah, I was clearly on a different flight.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Well, at least we'll get more time to do that podcast then today. Yeah, so today's one will be a quick snatch and grab. As always, we'll try and give you some golden nuggets away with you. A few laughs, a few stresses probably.
And maybe something you can relate to.
Yeah, and we'll go from there. My stomach is rumbling, by the way, I just heard it there, so hopefully that doesn't go through in the mic, because I am starving.
So much.
This has been the best race prep I've ever had. I have had 1 coffee today. I've had a bowl of granola, nothing else to eat, no carbs, no caffeine, hardly any water. So we're off to a good start for Barca prep.
Yeah, I've not had anything to eat either. But that's just typical parent life, innit? Put everyone else before you.
It's typical parent life and typical Natalie life. So before we actually came to this podcast, I just want to put this out here, right? So we're kind of starting from home a little bit here.
We're getting
this conversation
already.
Because before we came, I don't know if anybody else is like Natalie, right? But we're rushing about trying to get the kids sorted for going away to my mum and dad's to spend the weekend. We're getting the dog sorted for spending time at Amy's, going away while we're away for the weekend. And then we're also trying to get ourselves organised for Barcelona. Bear in mind, we're racing 2 days. Obviously, we want to see a wee bit of sightseeing and stuff like that. We're trying to make sure the passports are there. The usual holiday shenanigans. I'm starting to run about, like packing the car. And I come in, I've got Carl in the car, I've got everything in the car ready to go. I come in, and what's Natalie doing? Folding the washing. Now, bear in mind, so this was at 25 past 10. We had said to Daniel we're going to come in here for 11 to start doing this podcast because we need to be out sharp because we've got a flight to catch. And 25 past 10, we need to drop stuff off at my mum's before we go into the gym. And Natalie's folding the washing.
Right, but here is when maybe this relates or resonates with other potential mothers out there who, when you're travelling to go anywhere, I mean, for the past 48 hours, all I've done is washing, ironing, packing, writing lists, making sure everybody's got what they need, you know, making sure the passports are there, checking in for flights, making sure I've washed my own hair to go on holiday. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, I've got one more load of washing I need to sort. Because when we come back on Monday, we're going to have all the washing for the weekend, the kids washing for the weekend. We're gonna, because that's gonna be 4 days that I've not caught up. And then on top of that, I'm gonna have to just be flung into a whole new week. So like for any mums who are there,
It's just timing, innit?
I know, but that was the
Sorry.
last thing that needed to be done. I was just gonna take 5 minutes because it was the towels. So I stuck by it. And here we are, we're making it happen.
We're doing
Making it
it. We're
happen.
starving, we're doing it. Starving, decaffeinated.
This is what I was saying to you, Phil.
I'd actually choke somebody for a decaf coffee right now. Everybody keeps saying like, go decaf coffee. I would go like, nah, it's a lot of nonsense. I'd kill you for one, you don't even say.
I know, but this is what I'm saying. Like, gym owner or coach fails. It's like, that's a prime example. Like, we've not eaten yet.
Yeah. We tell everybody to eat, especially before a race. You tell people to carb up and stuff like that and
Just get fuel.
get yourself.
Fuel for the day.
Yeah.
I mean,
The only thing that's fueled is our car. And even that's clutching its straws. So if anybody wants to use a lift,
it's the end of the month, mate.
if anybody wants to use a lift to Edinburgh later on, pick us up and we break down because we've got a flight to catch at and I do. But yeah,
Total fails, isn't it?
talking about gym fails as well. So we have a really exciting weekend for the gym. So as you might know by now, we are switching our kind of focus for the gym to the more performance side of things. And this weekend, obviously Nat and I are competing. So I'm competing on the Pro Solo on the Saturday. Nat is competing with me on the mixed doubles on the Sunday. On top of that, we've also got Maria, Bernie and Kelly doing the singles as well in Barcelona. We've then got extended family. We've got wee Smouty and Leslie taking part in Barcelona as well. They've got a couple of races, I think they're doing mixed doubles and 2 solos. On top of that, we've then got Fiona and Kerry doing a marathon. We've then got Anne-Sophie doing Devil Highlands. And we've also got Matt doing 66 mile cycling race. And we were putting this post out earlier on. I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of shout out the team for a very busy and exciting weekend ahead. Give them a wee shout out, give them a mention for all the hard work and stuff like they're doing. And that post, which I thought would take me about 5 minutes, took me about an hour. And then once I had posted it, I had missed it, Matt.
I know.
So I needed another like.
I'm exactly the same in the chat, right? And I honestly, like, I feel like, oh no, like I forgot someone. So I've started writing, I'm so sorry if I've missed someone. And I genuinely am so sorry. I mean, because something, it
seems to happen all at one go though. Like,
everybody seems to be doing something.
All the same weekend. It's not as if like one's doing this weekend. Like, so for example, there's like High Rocks London next weekend. There's probably, I think there's actually a marathon next weekend as well. There's like London Marathon and then Manchester Marathon. I don't know what one's what, but I know there is 2 coming up in the next couple of weeks.
This weekend.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right, so the next one's going to be, no, it can't be. Must be London, because somebody put it yesterday. They were doing London Marathon this weekend and then High Rocks London next weekend.
Wow.
So anyway, but that's the thing, and it's like there's a High Rocks next week. There's marathons next week and that, but all our teams seem to do it on one weekend.
So how we seem to remember that is like purely from memory, from like chats, from Instagram, like from, I don't know how we keep on top of it all. Like it is quite challenging. Check-in sheets. So it's like each coach has an awareness of what they're.
But even that, I think the biggest thing as well is the ones that are doing it do millions of different events. So it's not like, so say for example, like Matt's got like 6 cycling events coming up with all different dates. Yeah. You try to remember all of them, and then you've got Fiona and Kerry and Sophie who run constantly.
Yeah.
You know,
so this is the message to all of our clients.
Yeah.
Good luck for all the events you have this summer.
Every single event you have over the next 6 months.
Because we try our hardest to remember, but it's really hard.
Well, sure you smash it. Because you've done the work. Go and enjoy it.
Oh my God, it's so hard. And then the guilt, it's almost like having kids, isn't it? Yeah. Like the guilt when you miss somebody out. You're like,
because you don't want somebody sitting there going like that, oh wait a minute, what's my accomplishment then? See what I mean? Why is my race no good enough?
I know. And then speaking of mum guilt, like we're obviously going away to Barcelona this weekend without the kids.
Yeah. We
were just staying there. We were trying to remember the last time that we have been without the kids. And that was Manchester, which was
January. That was a one night.
That was one overnight.
But even at that, it was like, I don't know about you, but I see that as different. It feels different in a way because you're still in the UK.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like I still feel as if
Well-
like if my mum and dad phoned, for example, we could just like, be up the road. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Whereas obviously being in Barcelona, it does feel a wee bit more
Really far
strange.
away.
Yeah, far away. Especially with Callan. Callan is currently in, the toys in the cage, as Dean calls it. But he's actually making direct eye contact as he's putting that toy in his mouth. Look at him. He knows I'm talking about him.
And also, like Daniel says that the episodes are all about him because all you can hear is him in the background.
Episode 5.
He's at that point now.
Episode 5 is Callan.
He's at that point now where he just doesn't. He doesn't sit still.
No, he's not. He's
He
not
just
tired.
starts crawling out. Oh my god, listen to him.
So
It's mad.
but,
Hi. I feel it's like.
I think this is the first time we've went abroad. I think without Callan. Is that right?
Yeah.
We've not done over. No, we've not.
No.
Do you know what, like, it's one of the catch-22 things, right? Because obviously you'll miss him and stuff like that, and you really will, like, you always say, like, oh, I can't wait to get a break for it and that.
Aye.
But then as soon as you drop them off or whatever, like, I was dropping the girls off at nursery today and I felt terrible. I'll be the same when we drop off Callan. And you always, like, have that thingy, but I must admit, do you know what? I am absolutely delighted with right now. See the less luggage we have. The anxiety is just, like, massively dropped.
I still have anxiety because we're flying with Ryanair and you just can never know, like with the hand luggage.
You don't
what
really
they're
the
gonna
fucking
do.
Tesco bag on me. Meaning that's too fucking big. Shit.
It
You
gives-
need to wear your
yeah,
fucking bag.
those built for athlete bags are amazing, but
Yeah.
they're not suitable for.
So basically we're just turning up with, we're just going to be able to taking it in. 3 t-shirts, 2 vests, 5 pairs of shorts, 2 pairs of trainers, with no bags, but we'll make it. Fuck it.
No, that's not. But then it's a lot less luggage, a lot less. The
Yeah, just-
only thing is,
It's just in comparison.
any
obviously,
parents
carrot.
out there that know the feeling, right? When you get to the gate and you can feel everyone feeling sorry for you, and I use that to my advantage. I'm like,
Don't think they do.
oh, I feel sorry for me. I've got all these kids. Whereas see, when it's just you and me, they're going to be ruthless with the
I
hand
don't think they
luggage.
do. I think probably staff in the airport feel sorry for you, but other people on that flight do not feel sorry for
Oh
you.
no, no.
The looks you get.
No, our kids are chilling.
I know, but when they first look when you're walking up and everybody says the same thing, I hope the fuck they're not sitting next to me. Especially when you get the 3 of them.
I'll be saying that today when we're getting on the plane. Oh, there's a baby. Keep that one away from me. But do you know what? See, when we're away and I see kids at a High Rocks event, it makes me so emotional.
I shut my
Like,
eyes. That's saying my time's always shite. I shut my eyes.
Feels so
My time's
bad.
shite.
Like, I look at how the parents are interacting with their kids and I'm like, that could be us. Like, it's so bad. But then also we do need the break and I can't wait to just explore like a new city and to be somewhere different for a few days. Like we were just
I know,
saying,
I was
that's
saying
the
that,
longest we've spent together.
And on the note of Barca, all I'll say is watch out the pickpocketers because we're coming for them. Not the other way about. Because we'll have fuck all. They'll be putting money in our pockets because I'm coming for them. So they better watch it. And I'm fast.
Everybody says that about Barcelona. Watch out for the pickpocketers, but
I know.
there you are. So
I've been
going to Barcelona.
Barca
watch
a
out.
few times, and I'll be honest with you, I've never noticed the pickpocketers, but in saying that, I always used to go with Liam and I was always pissed. So they could have picked my pocket. If I don't know.
You would never.
Just thought they were over friendly. But yeah, so that's exciting.
I know, and like you were just reading a message there from one of our clients who.
Yeah, so thanks for that, Susan. So Susan's basically, everything in the chat is wishes good luck and stuff like that. The standard messages you normally expect from clients and family and stuff like that, just wishing us the best of luck and stuff like that and have a nice time. And Susan has sent a very special message over to say, basically, like, long story short, good luck. We're going over as a couple to take a break for us and coming back with a 4th baby. So, I can fucking assure you that better not be happening.
It's not happening. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll get a sub 60 before we have another baby. Just say that.
we're not having another baby. It's not in the cards.
Exactly. The sub 60
happening.
need to happen. So,
Like, there's no space. There's no.
and I think we're staying in the hostel with a shared bathroom. Well,
It's not a shared bathroom.
You told me it was a shared bathroom. So,
I
even though, yeah,
the room.
it's bunk beds. Staying in bunk beds for the next couple of days. So, tags it up, milk.
I'm excited. It'll be good fun.
That'll be good. So, yeah. So that's kind of like touching on like kind of High Rocks and family life right now. The only other thing I want to add about family life is we done a thing. I'm going to share it on my Instagram, right? Because, and if you do have the chance, I'll need to save this video now by the time this comes out.
This is making me nervous because I don't know what you're about to say.
No, it was the lemons yesterday.
Oh, the
I just thought this is a way to thing, right? So if you have kids, right, you've probably done that sicko thing that people do to their kids and give them a lemon to suck. And the reactions are normally priceless, like, so Molly done it yesterday and gave the maddest look ever, where she was like, that. Harper done it as well. People don't see it, like, unless they're watching YouTube. That's the special you can get. That's exclusive content right there.
What are you trying to say?
Harper, Molly done it.
Lemon face.
Harper done it, and then I said to Molly, go and give it to Callan to see his reaction. And Callan,
he was eating that.
It was
like
the most
it was
anticlimax thing ever. Like, I was expecting a pure amazing reaction. He literally just went like that and ate it, and then went back.
Went in
again.
for more.
It was as if he was just eating an apple, but it didn't faze him whatsoever. He just looked at everybody as if, why is he laughing?
I know, he was honestly the cutest wee thing.
Wild.
It was so nice.
So yeah, who knows?
But I was gutted. I was like, oh, you just want to see that wee shudder, don't you?
Just been there for it. He was just putting the skin in his mouth and everything. Just wasn't holding back.
And Harper slept in her trainers last night.
Yeah, our night trainers, which make her go faster. So
she was like desperate to go to bed holding her trainers, and then I picked her up in the middle of the night because we're currently doing nighttime toilet training, which is...
It's going well, actually.
It's all right, but it's hard work, innit?
Yeah.
Like, literally hard work.
Do you know what? I think we're actually in a, like, I was talking to the nursery about this yesterday, we're actually in a very fortunate position right now where it's fortunate and unfortunate, where Molly's waking up constantly right now and coming to her room and screaming, and then, I mean, she fell off the bed last night, but she's coming into her room constantly, and it's a bit of a nightmare that side of it, because she's like, it's broken sleeping set, stuff like that, but where it is benefiting is it's actually, we're then having the chance to wake up Harper in it. We're not having to set like alarms to wake up to then get her to the toilet. Molly's doing that for us. Like, she's coming in, as soon as she starts crying or whatever, we manage to set her down, we get Harper at the toilet. So it's actually probably benefits.
It's just giving her that success, isn't it? But yeah, so we're doing nighttime toilet training. So I picked her up at like 12 o'clock last night, and she had her shoes on. So she went to bed holding them, and she'd put them on. So I took them off her when I put her back to bed, and then she woke up this morning, ran through, still had her shoes on.
She's funny as well, because she was in nursery today and telling people like how she was going to spend the weekend with her nan and Gramps because mum and dad were working. And when I said, tell everybody what we do for work, so she's like, they just run about, do burpees. And I'm like, fair enough. We do. We just run about doing burpees and arms apparently. So
I love that she thinks we do that.
That's actually, I was fortunate enough to be on a guest on a podcast yesterday, and that was one of the questions they asked is like, do we feel that like having the gym environment and doing high rocks and stuff like that benefits the kids, and do we think it has an influence? And yeah, like if you were to see the girls in particular, obviously Karen will probably the same, needs a wee bit older, but like what they like, it's like, Daddy, watch this, and they'll just run up and down the corridor to see how fast they can go. Yeah. Or they'll just go like before bed, they have to do their burpees before bed, they have to do lunges.
And I mean, lunges are really hard for kids, getting that balance, and they're already...
Yeah. And then Molly just talk about saying she wants to watch IROCs. IROCs. So yeah, I definitely think it's good.
It's massive. Like, I think that we do it all together, and then like even at High Rocks events, like they stand at the side and they go
that's what I said, they're kind of part of it, isn't it?
And then also, like, we did a Easter camp with the kids in the gym, and there was a wee boy, and he was telling me, I said to him, what was your favourite exercise today? And he said, I really loved the farmer's carry because I've seen my mummy do it at High Rocks. And I was like, that is amazing. Like, it gives me goosebumps because he's obviously been at an event and seen his mum doing it, and then he said to me, I like doing the farmer's carry because I saw my mummy do it, and it is amazing. I mean, we do the farmer's carry every day, try to get everything out of the car without having to do multiple trips.
A speciality, innit?
Like that, 2 kids, car seat.
Which, to be fair, if you had a parent, you should probably be the best at farmer's carry in the world. But
amazing.
On the day, it's different, isn't it?
I know, it's...
But, yeah, so that's home life and High Rocks, isn't it?
I know.
Really, what's going on just now.
What's happening?
I think the last time we spoke about the whole changing High Rocks and stuff like that, so I don't even need to cover that topic. I think we've covered what we're doing with it, and then it's obviously after this weekend, I want to say 6 weeks to Chicago.
Is that? I don't know.
I want to say 6 weeks.
I'm not even thinking about it. Like,
Which is crazy. Like, in my opinion, it's crazy just because it's coming to the end of the season. I mean, this is your last race of the season. Which is
so it is, yeah. I was going to try and get a pro female ticket for this weekend.
Yeah.
But because of just how I've been, I don't know, I've just not.
It's also like, apparently, like,
much.
the Spanish Hyrox, like, organisation aren't as, like, accommodating. That sounds terrible, but they're not as accommodating, apparently, as in, you see UK events, you can turn up on the day, and if somebody's can't do it through injury or whatever, and you can take their place, they can change your name. Obviously, that's going to be changing now with the new rules in place, but apparently Spain have always been dead against it. You can't change your name in the day and stuff like that, so it would have to be, you'd have had to go to it.
I buy a ticket on like
a week ago or whatever.
Yeah,
but even that, like a week ago to get the name change and stuff like that.
Right,
so, but that's all changing now anyway, which we spoke about last time.
Yes.
Yeah, so this will be Natalie's last race.
Yeah, and it's with you and
Quick
our
fire, right?
trainers.
Quick fire. I got asked this question yesterday and I actually quite liked the question. So quick fire for the listeners listening to this now, the race has already been done. Where will we be sitting time wise?
Like, don't even, because we were doing this for fun and now it's like for a time. So you want sub 70, sub 65?
I want 105.
Aye, you want a 105.
Or under.
I think it'll be possible. Like, there'll be, because the first time we did it, we had no strategy. We just kind of went in and just like,
as long as you
ran after you.
do your burpee and then jump to finish that movement rather than doing the burpee and then going, you take over. Like, you're halfway through the rep, fucking finish that rep and then I'll take over while you're getting the extra burpees.
That was the one.
So even that could save us a second.
Oh, right.
So we'll get close to there. So yeah, 105.
105.
Under 105. So we're going to go for sub 105.
No, 105.
That's all set. So when you hear, you'll be able to messages to congratulate us on the 105. Got to put it there quick.
Okay.
Right.
I know. Do you know what? I just love walking into a Hyrox arena.
I hate it.
I love it. I love the buzz.
See, every time they let the gear be patched and go, did you enjoy that? I'm like, I fucking hated every minute of that. So until I have to go, that's actually right, I'll do another one.
I know.
I always go with it.
No, I do. I love it.
I don't know why people have a smile on their face when you remain this close. like your poses.
Oh, shut up. I wasn't posing.
You know, I'm fucking dying. Like.
I was not posing. I was standing and I was looking at the bump and I was trying to work out whether I could move the sled around the bump. And then the guy was like, that's a good picture. Yeah. So then he asked me, told me to stay there.
You were doing it like you were fucking Columbo. You know what I mean? How do I go over that bump? Fucking push it. That's how you get out of the bump. Get your ass into
get my breath back without looking absolutely like KO'd.
Alicadi. All these glamorous pictures you get and I don't get a fucking single picture because I'm fighting for my life.
You're just getting thinner and thinner.
Oh yeah. Smile. Okay. See you.
No, I'm looking forward to it. It's always amazing to step out on the dance floor.
Yeah.
And that'll be good to do it with you again. This was supposed to be our first mixed doubles, so...
Yeah. So the expectations weren't there, but now they are.
It'll be fun to do it. And I think we are, we're around people as well that we know, and like there'll be members there and Smouty and Leslie, so.
I don't know why I just I don't know why I just done that. Edit that.
It'll be nice. It'll be nice to be around everybody. And also Barcelona. It really wasn't somewhere on my list that I was thinking, oh, I really want to go to Barcelona.
I've done it 3 times to be fair, it's a lovely
From
city.
the pictures and the videos I can already see on Instagram, it looks stunning. It looks amazing.
And we've also found out that El Clasico's on.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I've always had this thing, right? I don't know what it is, but I've always had this thing that it was actually more in particular for like the Euros or the World Cup. I'd love to be in Spain for either the Euros or the World Cup when it's on, because I just feel like the Spanish people, when it comes to football, are nuts. And they just go for it. They love it. And I've always said, like, I'd love to go for that. But then we've since found out that Barca are playing Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey final on the Saturday night. So it's one, more incentive for me to get my race fucking dead and buried, because it starts at 9. My race is at 7:30. So it has to be done dead and buried and at the right. And then 2, I think it'll just be an amazing like atmosphere just being around, like especially being in Barca when it's, I'm sure it's in Barca. So it's like, it'll just be an even more amazing atmosphere around about the venue and stuff like that.
I mean, I was looking at Segway tours and they're like triple the price, so there must be something going on.
Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be amazing.
Try to get a wee Segway for £25 each for a wee 2-hour tour. No, triple the price just because something's going on.
So yeah, looking forward to that. That's High Rocks in Barca wrapped up. I think we'll move on to...
And then I'm looking forward to kind of reviewing that when we get back.
Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, it's similar to Glasgow. What we'll do is we'll do like a Barca review of how things went and stuff like that, and how we... I don't think we really spoke about the Glasgow one, but we can even talk through like how we kind of strategise for races and stuff like that, how we break things down and do the research into it and stuff. So, which I'll be honest, we've not really done much of this time, but I think the night before, like probably tonight.
Well, we'll do that today on the flight, probably.
We've got time to kind of time out the laps and stuff like that, where we need to be sitting per
Well, the
lap.
main thing that I want to focus on is that it's really personalised to you. So like you could get a generic plan that's going to say you're going to achieve this in 57, 58 minutes, 59 minutes. But actually what you want is you want to give yourself grace on the burpees. You want to give yourself grace.
Then when it says you need to do your burpees in 2.5 minutes, but you actually take fucking 4 minutes.
Exactly. You want to do that.
Yourself.
And then you also want to give yourself grace in some of the lap timings. So
Yeah, I think
this.
I think that's the biggest thing that I want to focus on. Like something that I've been working with Chris on the track in particular with, is we actually time the laps that we need to do. So it's like, that's something I've never done before. Normally I just look at my watch and just go, where am I sitting?
Yeah.
Whereas if I actually time the lap, I'll know exactly what pace I'll need to be on. Because obviously when you're indoors, like it's great outdoors and stuff like that on a track, when you've got your watch, your Garmin, you can track it and it tells you exact paces you should be on. If you held that run pace, obviously, but when you're inside, obviously the GPS doesn't work, so you need to then manage how you're going to control that. Are you going to do it where you look at it as in a whole, the time, like how long it should take you to go round, or are you going to do it per lap so you know exactly? Also, that's a tip as well for if you are going to do high rocks. If you're someone who, I'm saying this and I'll probably make an ass of it, but if you're someone who always seems to either forget a lap or like go in too early or like do an extra lap or whatever, if you start timing your watch, is one of the best things you can do, because that's what happened to me in Glasgow. At one point, I thought I was meant to go in. I thought I was going in my third in, but when I looked at my watch, I looked and I was like, there's no chance you've done a fucking kilometre in 2:30. So I knew you've got a lap to go. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's a wee takeaway there. Like if you are someone who often goes to high rocks and makes an arse of the laps and stuff like that, because it is kind of overwhelming at times and stuff like that.
It's usually around about like lap 5, 6, 7. That's usually when your mind
switches off a little bit.
Oh, I'm not sure. But then someone told me just before Glasgow, name each in your kids. So every time I saw the in arch, I was like, Harper.
If you get kids, but if you don't get kids.
No, for us it was different.
Yeah.
But I was like, right, the first lap was Harper, the second lap was Molly, and then the third time I saw the in, I would go in because it's Callan. And it was funny, like...
It's funny you should do that, because that's a technique I use for my wall balls now. You know that? So for my wall balls,
you said this.
The last couple of races I've done for my wall balls, I break it up into 10s, but I try not to stop. So when I'm trying to go as many as I can unbroken, I'll say my first set of 10 will be 10 for Natalie, and it'll be 10 for Harper, then it'll be 10 for Molly, then it'll be 10 for Callan. Because then by the time you start to get tired, it's like a sick, like subconscious thing where, say for example, I start getting tired when I'm at Harper, I go, you can't drop that ball and not get the 10 for Molly because you've just done it for Harper and that shows she's a favourite. And then when you do it for Molly, you go, you can't not get 10 for Callan now because you've just done 10 for Harper and Molly. No, you need to do it, otherwise he'll never forgive you for it. Even though he doesn't know that's a strategy, but in my mind, I'm like, that's the strategy I need to go for. So I just do 10 per family member and then just kind of rotate that cycle to try and see how far I can go.
Yeah.
And so far, so good as worked. Done it today, actually. So I done a workout today, which was my last. We're actually going to talk about that, mate.
Yeah.
So
training as
today's
a guy.
Group session, I jumped into the Cassells group session. So Dean put on, it was a Friday, Dean put on a Fuck You Up Friday, it's called. And I jumped into the session. I had a last peak session. So a peaking session, if you don't know in high rocks terms, is basically just where it's kind of, you keep the intensity, but you just kind of lower the duration of like exercises of the session or whatever. And it's just basically you want to get familiar with some of the movements you're going to do on high rocks on the day so that your body's ready for it and primed. So originally Graham gave me like a plan to do, but then after speaking to Dean was like, listen mate, I'm using every bit of kit in the gym, you've got no chance of doing this. And obviously because we've got the podcast, we need to drop the dog off, like the kids off and all that kind of stuff. I was like, realistically, when am I going to fit that in then? So decided to come into the group training session today, and I done 140 wall balls unbroken using that technique of like per family member. So I managed to get 140 unbroken, which was good. But yeah,
what's it like training? Like for you do a lot of training on your own.
yeah,
And we decided this training phase that you would do a lot more training with other people
yeah.
because I think that it was really negatively impacting your mindset. Like it was a slog to turn up and train on your own. In some circumstances, you do it really, really well.
Yeah.
But in other circumstances, you're so competitive that even though the sessions aren't competitive, there is that little streak in you that when you finish and you're like, oh, well, that felt quite good or whatever. Like, it's good to be paired up with people who really, really challenge you. So that was kind of our strategy this phase, as well as getting you running outside and off the treadmills a bit more.
Yeah.
And that's been really successful. But I think one of the big things for you is actually been training with people. I've seen such a big difference.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think training on your own and stuff like that, I'm very internally motivated and stuff like that. Like, so I can up and go. Like, I see this more like a job type thing at times. So although I don't get paid for it and stuff like that, the way I try and think it in my mind is, if you were employed by someone, you would have to go for a set time, etc., to work, essentially. So I kind of try and mimic my training off the base of that, where I can't really deviate from the plan. I need to go and do these sessions. I can't, like, if I wasn't to turn up, my boss or whatever would, you know, take me in for a meeting or whatever, give me disciplinary action, all that kind of stuff. So that's the kind of mindset my frame works. Having said that though, like, there's certain workouts. So see for example, like, see the zone 2 work and stuff like that. Zone 2 work, where it's like maybe longer duration, your heart rate's not going as high, there's not as much output or like power output required, there's not as much effort required, it's not as intense. They ones, like doing like 30k on the ski or whatever, do not faze me at all. Like, I can just put my headphones in, shut after the world, and then just go for it. The ones that I think change the game a little bit is the Hyrox based ones, so, or the high intensity ones. So things like intervals, running intervals, or the Hyrox based sessions. So one thing we have kind of noticed, that it's better for me to be around people that are stronger runners than I am, because it builds my confidence in running, and it also gets me in that environment. So one thing that I noticed was, if I'm in here all the time doing the treadmill and I'm doing intervals on the treadmill or the runner, the assault runner, I can kind of go at my own pace, I can go in my own head and just kind of switch off and just let the body do what it has to do. Whereas then taking that into like an actual racing environment, something doesn't marry up, if that makes sense. Like, you're not, like, you can't not switch off. Like, you know what I mean? You can't switch off. Whereas if you're on yourself and you just get headphones in, you can kind of switch off to the world and you can just go your own thing. And if you want to slow down, technically you can slow down. You've got that ability to, you just go, do you know what, it's not the day to day.
I'm going to get the wee man.
Whereas training with Chris for the track, for example, it's allowing me to feel that kind of race mentality, if that makes sense. So I'm constantly trying to keep up with him, and Chris is a stronger runner than me for sure. He's a faster runner, and my biggest thing is that if I can stay within like touching distance of him, like 5 seconds difference or whatever, then I know I'm becoming a stronger runner. Where it also lies as well in terms of the track sessions and outdoor running, like, one of the biggest takeaways for me is, if you are running on a treadmill and stuff like that, and then you go into the racing environment, it's totally different, because you have to almost create that power output. If you're on a treadmill that just goes and does it for you, you don't really, I don't know, it's hard to describe, you don't really feel that pace, if that makes sense. Yeah. Whereas I feel like when you're running around a track or you're running outdoors and stuff like that, because you're having to generate that power to get to that pace, you feel it better. So it should transfer over better. Like, obviously time will tell, but it should transfer better over in a racing environment. Like, to be able to know, okay, that's how that race pace should feel.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, we have talked a lot about your potential in terms of your running times, and it would be silly of us, even looking back now at Manchester, thinking that you were ready to run at those paces. But now, it's not all the work has been done in terms of you're running outside, you're feeling what that pace feels like. You also have like the technology that you needed because we didn't have the technology. And then you also, between your engine being really well built and also training with other people and running at their paces and also having that accountability to turn up every week and not make an excuse around the kids. That was the biggest thing. Like, it was almost like, oh, I'm not going to do that just now because the kids are kicking off. Whereas actually it was more a case of, oh, you're meeting Chris, so you need to go at that time.
Yeah.
And because of that, you're going and you're turning up and you're putting the work in. And then also, it's more than just training. Like, you're getting a chance to talk to other people out with our gym bubble.
Yeah, it's nice to get
connect and
kind of get their perspective as well, because obviously every race is different as well. Like, obviously the connection is good because you obviously get to socialise and stuff like that. But I think, like, I'm very much a person that wants to learn constantly, and I feel like surrounding yourself with people that maybe have a speciality or they're very good at something, just soaking everything in they say. So it's interesting to hear, like, obviously I train with Chris, but then we've trained with Connor, we've trained with wee Bradley, and it's like nice getting their thoughts and opinions on certain how they tackle the race. Because obviously you can take things from, obviously, like, you still want to state your strengths, like what you're good at and stuff like that. So, but at the same time, it's good to see their tips and advice on, like, where they maybe take the breaks, where they take the recovery, and you know what I mean, like what their thought process and how they attack the race, so that you can go, I wonder how that would work with me, I wonder how that would marry up, type thing, and just bounce ideas off each other.
Yeah, I think it has been game changing. I think
I think like mentally it's just freeing as well. Like, I'll be honest with you, like, sometimes coming in here and just slogging away at yourself, it can become a very, very lonely place. And you don't feel that support. You feel as if you're alienated a little bit because people maybe don't understand you, type thing. But so yeah, I've been doing a lot more running with Chris, in particular with the track.
And then when you have been training, you've been in when people have been in training.
Yeah, I've tried to do it where I come in when the classes are actually on, the sessions in Cassells Fitness are on, because I feel like mentally, even though I might not be taking part in that session, like sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but mentally it puts me in a position where I can't let it slip, because even though they're not watching you, I feel like you're like, pretend they are watching you.
There's a team behind you. It's not just, they support you.
Everybody asks you, like, do you know what I mean? Like, when I'm doing like 30k on the ski or whatever, and people say, what you doing today? And I go on and all, like, you can do it. And when you are struggling or whatever, you're starting to feel that fight a wee bit, and they shout over and like, come on, you can do it, but they're actually over doing something else that they've got to do. Do you know what I mean? You do feel that support and that network connection, even though you might be doing something completely different. You do feel the benefits of that community aspect. And like, even today, for example, like, obviously I was coming in and I was only one in the 6 o'clock session that was obviously racing this weekend, but I almost felt like that energy from everyone to try and like come together to then, like, they're obviously pushing herself forward, but I just felt like this energy, like
a community,
like everybody's behind you, like everybody's wanting you to do well, everybody's like they're not going to let you slip. Like, if you, like, I was paired up with Jimmy, and it was like, if I was taking a break, he would be like, right, come on. Do you know what I mean? It was like that kind of intensity and stuff like that. So I think certainly from a guy's perspective, I think that's one of the things we wanted to discuss, is like, a lot of guys, when they think of group coaching in particular, and I know I was really bad for it years ago before we had the gym and stuff like that, a lot of guys think that group coaching is more specifically for females and tailored towards females. But actually, like, in this day and age now, like, especially like High Rocks gyms and CrossFit gyms and stuff like that, I feel like the narrative's changing a little bit, and you can actually, like, I mean, we've got some guys in here that have built like proper bonds with each other, where they actually just know when one's toiling, when's like, when to push and pull each other, and really level up. Like, I feel like there's a lot of guys in this gym right now that are taking the next level because who they're surrounding themselves with.
Yeah, and I think it also, where it stems from is that, again, there's that barrier when guys think the wives go to the group personal training, and then the guy will pay like a budget gym and then turn up, probably sit in the free weight section for a wee bit, mess about, maybe try and do a plan, sit on your phone for a wee bit, and then head up the road, go for a sauna, head up the road. Whereas actually, in that time, it might take them like 2 or 3 hours to do that.
I used to do that. It used to take me 2 hours for a session.
Whereas when you come here, what we've found is that, yeah, all the wives started, but now it's all the partners and the spouses that are all coming, and they're the guys that have now all bonded together, that are all kind of doing, that kind of challenge them. But it's getting that narrative over to men in particular that, do you know what, training in group PT is not just effective for everybody, but especially for guys who are looking for a bit more of a social environment, who are also looking for a community behind them, but who also want to like use that hour effectively, especially dads or busy business owners, or do you know what I mean, busy professionals. That 1 hour is precious, and actually to execute what we do in those 60 minutes, you know, is far more effective than your budget gym, you know, 3-hour session where you probably got in a few reps and that's about it. I think it is really,
like, you just don't want to let it slip in it. It's just,
I think it's really beneficial for men to experience group training.
Yeah, I would definitely say so as well. Like, I've noticed a huge difference personally. Like, for a while as well, was it post Paris or Manchester? I went through a phase where I literally couldn't face like the higher intensity sessions like on my own. I couldn't do it. I couldn't be bothered. Like, I just lost that sense of purpose and drive for a little bit. Even though I had like world championships coming up and other races and stuff, I just lost the whole purpose of it. I just couldn't be bothered. And where the group coaching allowed me to kind of tap back into that was I got involved. And again, it's that thing, you just don't want to let it slip. Like, even though like no one would say anything bad to you, do you know what I mean? It's not as if like they're going to hound you if you don't do like perform well or whatever. They'll support you, but at the same time you just don't want to let that person down that's with you, because they're pushing it. So you're like, oh, well, I'll push it as well then, we'll see what we can go. And then it's kind of that back and forth that me and Jimmy always call it cat and mouse. Do you know what I mean? It's like you are playing chases all the time, do you know what I mean, with each other, and it benefits you. And then before you know it, that hour's over and you go, wow man, like,
And you had fun, and you had a laugh, and you worked hard. Like, it is mad, like how
it's a complete game changer. Like, it's something that certainly going forward, I'll definitely be continue to implement. Like, I've said to Chris, like, Chris is racing next weekend in London, and even I've said, like, listen, if you're going on a Wednesday, let me know, because that's now a staple in my thing that I need to do it every Wednesday. Obviously we normally come in on a Friday and do the high rocks base sessions for the high at 9:30. Again, that'll just be like a staple where at least 2 of my sessions out the week will be surrounded by people wanting to kind of raise the bar. And the thing is as well, it's like sometimes like they will be focusing on themselves and they want to raise a bar for them, but it's infectious. Do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes, like, for example,
I walk in half the time and I literally am scunnered already at 9:30 in the morning, and then you go in and you're paired up with somebody and somebody's like, go on, you can do that, or oh my god, you're a machine, or you're doing this, and then they just give you some sort
sometimes
of
like that's another thing I was going to say. Like, sometimes it's like, see, for this morning, for example, right, me and Jimmy only spoke like a handful of times the full time because we were just getting after it, but it's infectious. Like, sometimes you don't need that, you know me anyway, I don't really need that, like, come on, you can do it type thing, because it's like, in my mind I know I can do it. But sometimes, like, even just being around that, so for example, even like me and Chris go to the track, for example, a lot of times we don't actually talk through the intervals because we've not got the time to talk.
No.
But it's just infectious because you see someone going, I'm going to get my all, and then you just go, well, do you know what, if they can do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And then we'll just finish the session together. And then it's the whole support and the buzz after it, when you're like giving each other the high fives and all that, and like telling each other you've done well, and like almost like debriefing the session, like, where did you think was hardest and all that kind of stuff is very, I mean, it's a game changer. If you want to really raise the bar in terms of results and energy and stuff like that, I would definitely suggest getting in some kind of group environment at least 1 to 2 sessions a week, because honestly it'll 10x your results in your progress and your overall quality of life. Like, I'm probably the most, going into this race, and in particular Barcelona, I'm probably the most relaxed I think I've ever been going into a race. And it's just because I'm just confident, because I've surrounded myself with the best people that I know that can take me where I want to go. And as long as I put my trust in them, I'll go where I need to go, and I just need to trust the fitness now.
Yeah. Trust the process, which is something that we say quite a lot. And we were going to mention that actually about, like, we've got we're obviously getting all the clients ready for the 12-week challenge for Triform 25. And a lot of the chat at the moment is like what does these weeks look like in the run up to getting your mindset right for a challenge, and also like what are the main things to focus on right at the very start. I think we've got so many clients that join in the 30-day trial, and maybe by week 3 they go, I'm actually ready to start focusing on my nutrition now.
Yeah,
And
time.
it's about putting all those building blocks in place and taking your time.
Yep.
And for the first 4 weeks of the challenge, that is all we're going to be asking them to focus on, is mindset and anchoring yourself to the why, to what you're doing it for, which is so evident in what you do. Like your why and your purpose is so there that it drives you. So when you do get to those challenging sessions, or when you get to those weeks where you can't be bothered, you go back to that purpose, that drive and that why, and it seems to take you through even if you feel shit and rubbish. So it's about anchoring to something more than just, I just want to lose a bit of weight.
I think thinking like that as well takes overwhelm out of it as well. I think that when people start something like this, they see it as like an all or nothing approach. I know I used to be bad for that as well, where you go from like 0 to 100 and your whole lifestyle flips almost like upside down. Whereas if you form that connection with your why, as Natalie was saying there, like, and that bond with it, and just have that like at the top of your mind every time, at the front of your mind every time, I think it makes the whole process easier. So I would say like that's definitely like the must, like the pinnacle, like this is the most important thing you need to do. If you take anything else away from it, that's what you need to do. It's like, don't focus on like the steps that get you there. Focus on that bit first and lock that in and have that right at the forefront of your mind. Like, I used to listen to a podcast and stuff like that used to say like, your goals you should actually put it somewhere that's going to have like a daily reminder. Like when you're going to brush your teeth or whatever, put it in a post-it, so that every morning you're looking at it and brushing your teeth, you see that for 2 minutes, and that's a constant reminder. And then that kind of sets you up for that day, like going, right, well, 2 minutes, focusing on that. That means that my next choice for my breakfast is going to be focused along the lines of what I
it's just been that, even subconsciously, it's just sitting in the back of your mind. So when you make those decisions throughout the day,
all against it.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things for me in the first few weeks and months of like a new challenge, which is establishing your routine. That like, if you know you generally eat around about these times, or if you and you generally have this kind of work schedule, then you can schedule in the basics, which is when you're going to eat and drink, and when you're going to train and exercise, and when you're going to get out and steps. Like if you can kind of maneuver that around what your existing kind of routine looks like, then you're already setting yourself up for success. And I think the other part to that is decision fatigue. Like, I really struggle as a parent every single day. What am I going to feed my kids? Like, it is like, I cannot tell you how exhausting it is. Like, you know yourself, I'll leave it to you because you're much quicker at deciding for food than I am. But I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to feed them today? I have to be more creative. I have to think something different. I have to, they had that last night, or they've had that 2 nights in a row. It's exhausting. So trying to take away that decision fatigue as early as possible, so that you just have an idea over that week what it looks like you're going to eat. And at first, for nutrition wise especially, like they do say a varied diet is good for your gut, it's good for you, and it's good for your health. But at the start of these things, sometimes having a different combination of breakfasts or a different combination of lunches then means you're only choosing from 3 rather than choosing from a whole bunch. As just to start off with.
Even that, it's like you could look at it that way, and then the other, like, so that's like one tip that I would say is like have like 3 go-tos for like the first couple of weeks.
For lunch.
The other way I kind of say to some clients about it is like, if you do track on MyFitnessPal and it's something you are familiar with and stuff like that, I say like pre-plan it the night before. So, and I don't mean cook it the night before, because some people think, oh my God, cooking it, I've not got time for that. It's like, what I used to do was, I used to do it 10 minutes before I went to bed. I would actually just work out what I was going to have, so that, and I'd put it into MyFitnessPal. So I'd start with dinner first, because that's always the one with the most calories for me. Then I'd work my way back to lunch and then breakfast. And then what that allowed me to do is, then when I woke up in the morning, it was almost like a to-do list. The decision was already made. I didn't have to then go open the fridge and go, oh, what am I going to have to eat? I'm going to need to throw that together. It was literally just open MyFitnessPal. What have I got there? Right, okay, that's what I'm going to make. And it took away that completely. The other one I would say is portion control. Like, there's something to be had in portion control. If you find MyFitnessPal overwhelming, if you find nutrition overwhelming and stuff like that, like, stick to the basics, and even just stick to what you have now, but just reduce the portion size of it. and then you'll start to notice a difference straight away.
Yeah. Even if you changed your plate slightly and just reduced a little bit like of one element, say fats or carbs, and added like an extra handful of like fruit and veg.
Yeah,
like
make that plate up.
make that
darling,
plate fuller. It's not about taking away and not replacing or isolating one group of foods and then saying I don't want that. It's about exploring it all, but having bigger food volume of, you know, your fruit and veg.
It was actually something I learned in precision nutrition. So precision nutrition worked on the mindset and like nutrition and stuff like that as well, and the sports science side of things and psychology. And one of the things they said was if you go and like start a diet or start like which everybody calls it, right? If you start this new nutrition regime and you tell yourself that you have to take something away, right away that kind of creates this negative effect and bad relationship with said new nutrition plan. What they say is rather than thinking about what you have to take away, think to yourself, what can you add?
Yeah, what can you have?
Rather than subtract, what can you add?
Yeah.
Because then that way it almost switches it where it's like a positive rather than a negative. So that's something that you could potentially look at as well.
Yeah, I suppose for me it's not about having one food group is bad and one food group is good. I think it's about having a good mixed blend of everything. So when Stephen mentioned there about having everything tracked in MyFitnessPal, it then gives you an idea of what you've got left and what you can add to the rest of your plate and to the rest of your diet for that day. It means that if you have got a celebration coming up for the weekend, then you can say, right, okay, well, you know, I can add this in and I can have this additional thing. And it gives you that flexibility. But then again, what we've mentioned before is that, you know, having that 99% or that 100% dedication towards something, that 1% is sometimes so difficult to make the decision and the choice. So sometimes that all-in approach at the very start is really helpful and really useful. Like I find that especially those like 4 to 6 weeks, saying I'm all in is good when you have a coach beside you who's going to help you and support you through making decisions as you come out of those first 6 weeks and going into a bit more of a flexible regime. I kind of feel that that's important, that, you know, you don't cut things out and you don't, but you also don't consistently say to yourself, I'm going to be really, really flexible. Because if you're flexible, then it gives you that even more decision fatigue.
Yeah. Opportunity to slip up as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I do think that when it comes to nutrition, it really is about moderation approach as much as possible, not isolating food groups, having a routine and planning ahead, minimizing decision fatigue. Did I say that?
Yeah.
I did say that. And
but it's also important to know.
It's very, very
probably
important.
one of the most
It's probably the main
important,
thing.
especially in the first couple of weeks.
And then food volume is the biggest one. I think if you know that you can eat more and feel full and enjoy it,
Consciously you're putting yourself in such a better position.
much better.
Especially in terms of your relationship with food. Also as well, like making it more of a lifestyle thing as well, rather than it just being this like quick, you know what I mean, like quick transformation, like quick result thing. It's like if you can start to think of that and then you start to actually implement that habit and build on that habit, then naturally through life you just start to think like that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that was helpful. And for anybody who's thinking about starting something new, for anybody who's thinking about, you know, maybe trying a High Rocks for the first time, we were mentioning a lot of clients will come to us and say to us, I want to get fitter before I join. I don't think I'm fit.
That statement actually really annoys me, right? And I'll tell you why, right? Is like, the reason why that statement annoys me is when people say that, imagine you went for a job interview, and I always remember this when I was younger, and I went for a job interview in a retail like shop, and they said to me, you don't have any experience, or do you have any experience? I didn't have any experience, and it's like, they didn't get a job for that. And it's like, how can I get experience if you don't give me a job in retail? So how can you get fit if you don't start?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't message me saying that because it annoys me. That's one thing I avoid.
Message us saying I'm not fit enough and I want you to help me.
Message Natalie to say that if you want. If you want to say that, you can message Natalie. She'll let you away with it, but I just won't even entertain it. That really annoys me, that one.
No, I think it's important just
The
to
important thing is
just to consider. Just you don't have to do it all at once as well. There's so many different ways and means that we can, like, and loads of different tips and like styles and approaches that's right for you.
yeah,
Like,
find what's right for you. Yeah, 100%.
but I think the first thing is always your mindset and coming back to, you know,
Why you actually doing it.
consistently reminding yourself why you're doing it, and also consistently reminding yourself that it's not restriction. It's not about stopping what you like to do. It's not about, it's all about just enjoying everyday life and enhancing what you already have. And I think that's important to share, I think. And on that note, I'm exhausted.
Yeah. On that note, we need a coffee, we need carbs. So
We need
I
coffee,
think
we need
we'll wrap that
carbs.
one up there. It's funny because I was actually laughing there, right, when I went for a wee toilet break there, because I said to myself, we said at the start of this podcast, it'll be a quick snatch and grab, and I think this is the longest one yet.
Is it?
I always look at that clock over there to see. So we've got a clock at the back of these cameras, and I always look at the clock to see how long we've been. And I think that's probably the longest one.
Well, we better snatch and grab now
was a
because
quick
we've
snatch
got to
and grab.
go and catch a flight
Yeah.
to Barcelona.
So thank you again for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, share it with your pals. We really appreciate it.
You're getting really good at this.
I'm a pro, by the way. And we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you.